We all know those GLP-1 injections work wonders, but that price tag almost gave me a heart attack when my insurance denied coverage. I was staring at a choice between paying my mortgage or paying for weight loss. Talk about a rock and a hard place. Then I found Elevate Health compounded semaglutide at just $58 with payment plans that don't require a second mortgage. Same medication, same results, but a price that real folks can actually afford. Visit joinelevate.com today. That's JOINELEVATE.com. Your wallet will be as happy as your waistline. This medication is not FDA approved.
Looking for a smarter choice for dental implants? Meet the Contact Dental Implant System from Biotech Dental, trusted by clinicians across Europe and now available in the US. With a single prosthetic connection, streamlined surgical kits, and seamless digital workflows, Contact makes every step easier. It's clinically proven, intuitively designed, and surprisingly affordable. See for yourself why more dentists are switching to Biotech Dental's Contact System. Visit biotechdental.com today to learn more. That's biotechdental.com.
I guess we're talking about John Landis, who worked with Dan Aykroyd, who's in this movie.
Yes.
You watch yourself, sir.
You know I like Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd's a wild man after my own heart. I've seen that video on YouTube of him talking about aliens in that hotel room for 2 hours.
Great. Good
Ladies
stuff.
and gentlemen, I'm here talking to you now.
I haven't seen that video, but I probably should look it up.
You should. It's a trip. He's just sitting in this hotel room and just smoking, just chain smoking cigarettes. Ladies and gentlemen, I have something important to tell you.
I got to tell you, the guy, when he's talking to you, the viewer, he commands your attention.
Yeah. He's great.
He's got a great voice.
Did you guys know that this movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife, is based on the original film?
Gee.
Oh, no.
Are you kidding?
Well, actually, I thought that this movie was a reboot of that 2016 film.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, wow.
I missed that.
Did you actually miss it? Have you seen it?
Oh, I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen the 2016 movie, sure.
God,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I've seen all the Ghostbusters entertainment there is to consume.
You mean 2016, the best Ghostbusters movie?
Yeah. I
had someone on my podcast say that. He was like, this is better than the original Ghostbusters.
And it was for him.
You kicked them off the podcast, correct?
No, I welcome and respect all opinions on this show, even if they're
okay. Here's my opinion on Ghostbusters 2016.
Are we recording right now?
Yeah, we are.
Go ahead.
We are. We're recording.
I don't have the vitriol for it that a lot of Ghostbusters fans do. There are parts of it that I enjoyed, but there are certainly parts of it that needed a lot of work.
That's an understatement.
Well, here's my problem with it. One, too much ad-libbing. It made the film go on longer than it needed to go. And another one was the villain was so underdeveloped, it was sad. It's like at least it was different. At least it was a different villain, though. Yeah, but the only thing about him that we knew was like he was pissed off at the world and wanted. That's all you know about the guy. He was
the people that were deriding the movie before it came out.
That's true. Okay, yeah. That is true. My problem with the 2016 Ghostbusters was I agree with you about the ad-libbing, but the main problem I had with it, the reason the first movie works so much is that there are funny people and there are serious people grounding us in a reality. Mm-hmm. In the 2016 remake, everyone is a jokester, so there were no stakes at all ever. in that entire movie. There's no William Atherton character. There's no mayor. There's no the 23rd precinct's walls were
Dean
bleeding.
Yeager. I mean, the first character that they meet, Dean Yeager at the college, he's playing the straight man. I mean, just look at the way they handle the scene in the original of them getting kicked out of the college to the way they handle it in 2016. The guy's going flipping them off and shit that would never happen in academia. And I'm not saying you need to be realistic, but like you said, Father Malone, there has to be a give and take. There have to be. I mean, it's like look at something like Smothers Brothers or any comedy act. There's a straight man and there's a comedian.
I mean, that part with the dean was so aggressively unfunny to me.
Yeah,
it's like that's your shtick. Finding different ways to flip them off. That's what you got.
But I think it cuts right to what we were talking about with ad-libbing. I mean, I think even Paul Feig would agree there's too much ad-libbing in the movie. I think even he would be like, I think we maybe overdid it. Or maybe he wouldn't. I don't know.
My favorite part of the film was Kate McKinnon. But that's because I just love Kate McKinnon as a comedic actress. She's phenomenal. She's got great energy, timing. She was great for that role. The problem is that the characters didn't really have any distinctive traits. Other than Kate McKinnon, they were all kind of interchangeable. Kristen Wiig was bland as bland could be.
Which is crazy given it's Kristen Wiig.
It's Kristen Wiig. When you have Kristen Wiig, you don't just have her be the straightest of the straight of the comedic, of the four. Yeah. And then you have Melissa McCarthy just playing Melissa McCarthy again.
Which, it's always funny to say, like, fatty fall down, go boom. I mean, it's never not funny. And, like, farting and eating food a lot, because that's all fat people do is eat a lot of food and fall down because they're fat.
Oh, don't forget queef jokes. Don't forget the queef
that
jokes.
too, right? Well, that's because it's women. And I mean, let's just talk. Let's segue right into a film featuring Ghostbusters that does feature women.
Just Chris, if you don't like queef jokes, you're not a feminist. You're a fucking incel.
For McKenna Grace in this film to talk about queefing. I mean, that was the expectation.
Yeah, what a disappointment.
That's a female Ghostbuster movie. Why weren't they talking? Carrie Coon's just queefing in every scene.
Yeah.
Talking about wonton soup. I mean, I was waiting for it, and I was pleasantly surprised to see there was none of it.
Oh, thank God. I mean,
who would have thought?
I thought
there were actual...
Right, where was it?
I mean, there were actual stakes in this film, and people were treating it...
Well...
People, okay.
You a theremin?
Yeah.
You sound like the background music for Ghostbusters.
Yeah, he's doing his Elmer Bernstein impression. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quite well, I think.
On this episode of the Kulturecast, I'm joined by Father Malone and Trevor Gumbel. They have their own podcast. Trevor has On Seagal, which I co-host with him. Father Malone has Dark Destinations. And we're talking about something that came out last year, but none of us, well, two of us didn't see it in theaters. One of us did. But we have all now watched it. We're going to be talking a little bit about 2021's much awaited, much anticipated Ghostbusters Afterlife.
You're a great mom.
I don't know. I'm fine with Trevor, but with Phoebe, she really keeps me on the outside.
That's normal. She's an awkward, nerdy kid.
Maybe a new home could be an opportunity to start fresh. I just wish she'd get into some trouble.
There's still time.
What are you doing here in Somerville anyway?
We're completely broke, and our grandfather left us this creepy old farmhouse in the middle of nowhere.
Your father wasn't much of a homemaker. He could hardly keep the power on.
You're saying he left us nothing?
Well, I wouldn't say nothing.
You went with the station wagon?
It's the only one that had an engine. What is happening here?
Somehow, the town with no fault lines is shaking on a daily basis.
Maybe it's the apocalypse. Egon came out here for a reason.
Are you troubled by strange noises in the middle of the night?
Do you experience feelings of dread in your basement or attic?
Have you or any of your family ever seen a spook, specter, or ghost?
Oh my God.
You guys hear that?
Something's coming.
The whole city. It's like The Walking Dead.
Ghostbusters, we're ready to believe you.
We're closed.
We all know those GLP-1 injections work wonders, but that price tag almost gave me a heart attack when my insurance denied coverage. I was staring at a choice between paying my mortgage or paying for weight loss. Talk about a rock and a hard place. Then I found Elevate Health compounded semaglutide at just $58 with payment plans that don't require a second mortgage. Same medication, same results, but a price that real folks can actually afford. Visit joinelevate.com today. That's JOINELEVATE.com. Your wallet will be as happy as your waistline. This medication is not FDA approved.
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24 related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
So it's directed by Jason Reitman, you know, the guy who's the son of the director who directed the first one, Ivan Reitman.
My dad says you guys are full of crap.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. We want He-Man. You know, it's written by Gil Keenan and Jason Reitman. Gil Keenan's worked on a lot of stuff. And he's also a good friend of another podcast that we collaborate with often, The Projection Booth. He's been on there a couple times. And it stars Carrie, Coon, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, Paul Rudd, and there's a couple other people. We'll talk about them, but they're not as important, folks.
No.
They're not as important. I'm just kidding. They're almost too important. And what is this film about? Well, imagine Ghostbusters through the lens of The Force Awakens, but it actually more or less works, unlike The Force Awakens, which has... I mean, to be fair, The Force Awakens essentially had the foundation eroded out from underneath it thanks to two subpar sequels. But yeah, this is essentially a reboot of Ghostbusters, but it's a reboot that continues the continuity of the previous film, so it's a prequel, sequel reboot, soft reboot. Is that what we're going to call it? Soft reboot?
Yeah, I think
yeah.
So Trevor, I know you saw it opening night. So
of course.
And so your opinion is going to be extremely unbiased.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Just right off the bat. But Trevor, tell me a little bit about what you thought about Ghostbusters Afterlife. And we're talking spoilers, folks. So if you haven't seen it, it's been out for like 5 months.
Yeah.
3 months. So
it's November, December. Yeah. It's only been out for like 2 months.
Yeah. It's been out longer than a week, so...
Yeah, it's been out longer than a week, so
long enough, right? So, Trevor, what did you think of Ghostbusters Afterlife?
Okay, I do admit, I came in, being the hardcore Ghostbusters fan that I've been since I was a child, waiting for a third Ghostbusters, official Ghostbusters in the canon film since 1989, after so much of Dan Aykroyd teasing us with, like decades of, we have a script. It's a great script. We got these two guys working on it. It's going to be amazing. And everything falling apart. To finally have something that actually got made and released, I was so happy to see. I was in that theater I was a kid again watching the film because it was just, especially at the end. Oh my God, the end just got me. I can't, there are problems I had with the film, minor as they are, but I still just enjoyed the hell out of it. I love this film.
Would you say you were the film's target audience?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Father Malone.
I think I was 11 when the original Ghostbusters came out, and I think I saw that movie and immediately walked to a local shopping center and bought a cassette tape of the soundtrack and went home and listened to it ad nauseum. I had a painter's cap with the Ghostbusters logo on the crown. So like how many years later? I think I'm part of that audience too. I don't think it landed quite as well with me, but I enjoyed the movie overall. I think it's a very well-made movie. Clearly, they shot the entire thing at sunset for that golden hour look.
Boy,
it was. Oh boy! Like if you were confused about whether or not this was a nostalgic movie, they visually sort of rammed it home for you. I think like overall, it's a really good movie. I like these kind of stories with this sort of a mystery with a child sort of unraveling their forebears like secrets. It's very sort of Nancy Drew Hardy Boys. I like that story so much that I wish there were no Ghostbusters involved with the movie. Honestly,
you're talking the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I'm talking about Ray and
OG.
Yeah, like it. I don't know. I just felt like I think it's overall a pretty good movie. I think it's Chris and you and I were talking and you said like. Ghostbusters 2 is still the best sequel, I believe. And I think that's still the truth. Like this movie did not do it for me necessarily.
So I think I'm a little in between y'all. So as someone who I saw Ghostbusters probably before, I don't know if I was before I was 10, but it was definitely before I was like 16. So I saw the first one, saw the second one. I mean, and then what do you do? That's the funny thing about like all of this now, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, in the 90s, where could you buy Ghostbusters stuff? Like anything. You couldn't buy Ghostbusters anything. Like Ghostbusters was a franchise that wasn't being marketed and merchandised like it is now. I mean, you can go to Spencer's, Suncoast, FYE, and buy Ghostbusters Funko Pops, Ghostbusters fucking anything. Ghostbusters signs, blankets, holy shit. I mean, Trevor, I bought you a Ghostbusters manual for Christmas that has all the... It's supposed to be like a schematics manual for the Ecto-1 and all that stuff. That stuff wasn't around.
And it is placed lovingly in my Ghostbusters book collection on my shelf.
Ghostbusters book collection, guaranteed none of those books came out pre-2000.
No, they didn't.
So I mention that because sitting here thinking about this Ghostbusters movie now, 2021, right? Like you said, Father Malone, it's extremely well made, extremely well shot, production values through the roof. It looks like a Spielberg movie in a lot of ways. Not a bad.
It's very Amblin, very very
right.
Amblin.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably so Amblin at this point. I don't think people can out Amblin this movie unless you're Steven Spielberg. J.J. Abrams tried with Super 8, and this is like a better
This is
version.
better.
Yeah, this is better. This is
way
almost
better.
Like Super 8. It really is. Like J.J. Abrams got overshadowed by this movie. Not that anyone cares about Super 8.
I mean, I enjoyed Super 8, but I didn't see like people were gushing over Super 8, and sure I enjoyed it, but I something wasn't clicking with me about that film.
Huh. That's because it was not good.
Yeah, because Super 8 was real bad.
The callback to Spielberg style was like the only thing that movie had going for it, as far as I was concerned. This movie actually feels, I think, sort of visually like as epic as Spielberg would have shot it, but it feels more like a Joe Dante movie to me overall.
Yeah, I could see that.
Which is always a good thing because
no
Joe Dante
question.
is awesome.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I really the stuff with the family and sort of the discovery and the experimentation and stuff, all that stuff I love,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why it felt very Joe Dante to me.
Yeah,
Like, that's the sort of kid point of view of these events.
Well, I think another thing about the film is that I could feel the love of the franchise in the script. Mm-hmm. Like, it was written by people who love Ghostbusters and who wanted to show, some love and respect to the franchise. It's a love letter.
Shout out to an episode of a different show that Father Malone and I recorded that may or may not be out already.
Okay.
The reverence for Ghostbusters, I don't understand. And we talked about this a little, Trevor, offline. Father Malone, you and I talked about Nostradamus recently. And everybody interprets Nostradamus through their own lens, right? The reason this movie works for fans of Ghostbusters is because it's written by a fan of Ghostbusters. And he knows exactly what to do to make the fans of Ghostbusters understand that he's a fan of Ghostbusters. The Twinkie, the Crunch Bar, the fucking countless shout-outs and countless visual gags that are shout-outs to the previous film. You know what the thing is, though, about this movie? Against all the other movies like this is the first one for me that works. Because you know what? I don't get the reverence for Ghostbusters, but I'm friends with someone who does. And I understand why Trevor loves Ghostbusters. And you want to treat Ghostbusters with reverence? Great, because, Father Malone, you'll agree with me on this. The reason the first one is such lightning in the bottle is because it's pretty goddamn irreverent. It's all over the place. It's an insane movie that was even more insane before they toned it down into something they could actually film. Dan Aykroyd. I mean, the original script for Ghostbusters is a complete insanity.
It was a budget. It would have been a budgetary nightmare to film.
So I understand, and I frankly am on board with people wanting to be reverential with Ghostbusters because I've seen the reverential Star Wars movie. It didn't really work. I've seen the reverential Star Trek movie. It didn't really work. Actually, it's pretty irreverent given that they erased the entire original timeline, but what the fuck do I know, J.J. Abrams? I mean, we've seen a lot of these soft reboots, the Halloween movie, that comes into it saying, okay, you love the original movie, so let's give you something that's essentially the original movie, but a little different. And in this movie's case, it almost, like Father Malone said, it's 3/4 of the movie is something different until you get to the finale.
We all know those GLP-1 injections work wonders, but that price tag almost gave me a heart attack when my insurance denied coverage. I was staring at a choice between paying my mortgage or paying for weight loss. Talk about a rock in a hard place. Then I found Elevate Health compounded semaglutide at just $58 with payment plans that don't require a second mortgage. Same medication, same results, but a price that real folks can actually afford. Visit joinelevate.com today. That's JOINELEVATE.com. Your wallet will be as happy as your waistline. This medication is not FDA approved.
Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
Alley where they fight the Death Star again, essentially. I mean, it's the same,
Yeah.
But here's the thing. In this movie, I'm okay with it, because even in the video game, they revisited the goddamn Gozer and Ivo Shandor. My issue is, don't have Gozer in this movie. Don't have the terror. You want to have Ivo Shandor? Cool. I'm actually down with that. That's cool. We've never seen Ivo Shandor. We've never seen him as a character. We've heard him talked about in hushed, whispered tones. But don't do the Gozer shit again. Don't tack the plot of the first movie on to the end of this movie.
That was one of my small problems with the film, is that it did kind of Force Awakens it and go, let's do Gozer and Zool again.
But the problem is this movie did something that's almost even worse in a way. It gave you 3/4 of another movie and gave you 30 minutes of Ghostbusters 1. I would rather, if they're going to do that, just redo Ghostbusters 1 completely.
Can I just let me jump in, because they did not give us 30 minutes of Ghostbusters 1. They gave us the most watered down version of Ghostbusters 1. Remember, that movie ended with a 100-foot marshmallow man marching down Fifth Avenue and destroying a church and then exploding over the entire city. This is four Ghostbusters in a field with Gozer and nothing at all happening.
Little mini ghost marshmallow man.
Mini marshmallow man, right?
Yeah. Right. Well, that's for the merchandising, folks.
That's for the
merchandising rights alone will make us wild.
Yeah, this is what
I know.
This is what I'm saying about the sort of I wish what you said, Chris, like the 3/4 of this movie, and then we get 30 minutes of another movie, and I wanted either wanted to see the finish of the movie that we were watching, which was tangentially related to Ghostbusters, or I wanted to see a movie with all 3 Ghostbusters throughout.
I'm with you. That's my whole issue with this movie is one or the other, but don't do both half-ass.
You're right, Chris. If you want to kind of want to bring it back to the first movie, you had a villain, Ivo Shandor, that would have made a very interesting villain, I think.
Yeah. Or this is another Shandorian plot.
Yeah,
right?
that was one of the problems I had with the film, is that Ivo Shandor was basically wasted. He gets referenced, he shows up, he's a MacGuffin, man. He's a human MacGuffin. When I was in the theater and I saw him show up being played by
J. Jonah Jameson himself.
Being played by,
Yellow M&M.
You're just going to name every character, not the
I don't know what else.
Right?
The character from Whiplash.
Being played by J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
The actor J.K. I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. He's going to team up with, Gozer or whatever. And nope, he just gets torn in half within like 5 seconds. He gets like 5 seconds of screen time and then gets torn in half.
I think our buddy Max Landis ruined that, because remember a couple of years ago when he was hot shit and he couldn't stop like running his mouth about how he would remake movies. Like he spilled his entire Ghostbusters plot that like he had pitched at some point,
really?
And the entire thing was about Ivo Shandor. Yeah, I think he muddied those waters by doing that.
I mean, to be fair though, even in that Ghostbusters video game, that's Ivo Shandor. I mean, we were obviously going toward Ivo Shandor because it hadn't been explored yet. Right, because, I mean, of all the things that you could ask, I mean, that's right. At the end of the first movie, what questions do you have, right? Outside of, where do the ghosts come from, the next question is, who the fuck is Ivo Shandor building the selenium core rod conductor in New York, right? But, man, they could have, what they should have done in this movie? Fantasy booking here. Just make Paul Rudd Ivo Shandor's relative, and he's the bad guy all along. I mean,
yeah, but two relatives,
he's possessed by Ivo Shandor or something. Just
there was a cult of Gozer, right? Like, where are they now?
I figured the whole town was going to be in on what was going on. Like,
that would have been something.
Like kind of like a Hot Fuzz thing.
I was going to say the good luck catching them killers moment. I mean, where he realizes, where McKenna Grace has like a flashback of like, or an in-moment epiphany of like, oh my God, the town was in on it the whole time. Because, I mean, the way the townspeople act, you could almost believe that they are.
Yeah.
Because they're like nonplussed by the fucking ghosts flying around.
Well, they all kind of refer to Egon as the dirt farmer.
Right.
The crazy dirt farmer.
Yeah. Okay. Can I talk about my main problem with the movie?
Sure. Yeah, go
ahead. Anytime a movie takes place in a post-climax of another film world.
Oh, here we go. Yep.
I'm sorry, I can't help it, but like they have stuff on YouTube of the 100-foot marshmallow man exploding over New York. All of those ghosts everywhere. Like, we now live in a paranormal world. I know we haven't seen them in some time. They take pains to let us know that in the movie. But the idea that in 2021, this girl didn't know her grandfather was Egon Spengler, like there wouldn't have been podcast after podcast. I mean, they even kind of reference it without really acknowledging the fact that like the sort of ghost mania we've been going through in the past 10 years, like nobody would have like sought out all of the Ghostbusters at all times. Like,
hi, I'm Zach Bagans and I'm at the Ghostbusters firehouse in New York City. I mean,
it's the Ghostbusters 2 problem.
Or the Ghostbusters 2016.
Yeah, which it happened in Ghostbusters 2, which like now they're discredited and like nobody believed the story. Like, get the fuck out of here. And then like, does this movie ignore Ghostbusters 2?
No, I don't think so.
No,
it's
doesn't.
canon.
So there was another moment where the Statue of Liberty walked down into fucking Times Square and was left on the ground, and people are like, Ghostbusters, who are they? Like, are you out of your fucking minds? All of them would be famous beyond words. Like, let's be realistic. We just want it because we want to go back to where they're underdogs, but that's out of the bottle now. You can't do that.
Well, I mean, I think it's canon with Men in Black. Because, at the end of Men in Black 2, they neuralized the whole city to forget everything.
Yes, that's right.
That's what it is.
But you're right. There still is YouTube clips that Paul Rudd shows McKenna Grace and Logan Kim.
Yeah.
Do they undercut their own movie by having them show the YouTube clips?
Kind of.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess here's the issue. Either there's no way to get around it unless you set this movie in like 1991.
You know what you do? You deal with the fucking issue that we now live in a fucking paranormal world and everyone knows that there are Ghostbusters, and find some other clever way to fucking make your movie. That's my main problem. Like if this had been like, if the first Ghostbusters hadn't ended with the fucking Marshmallow Man and it was like a more intimate kind of a thing, then okay. Yeah. But there's no way. Like every news agency in the world was like, even before, by the way, before the Marshmallow Man, there's a montage of them like, they're Omni Magazine, and they're being interviewed by Larry King, and like they were famous. So
have you seen Elvis? And
how is Elvis? And have you seen him lately?
Fucking come on, right. Larry King.
Yeah.
No, and that is kind of the biggest problem with this movie, just period, is because it's not just a movie about the Ghostbusters, they're making it about other people. They have to handle that, and they don't.
By the way, wouldn't Peter Venkman be Zach Bagans?
Yeah, he was. He was.
He would have the number one show because
Hairless
he actually
cats.
Fought ghosts. Right. Yeah. There you
go. Was going in that direction with World of the Psychic.
Yeah.
Right.
But even then, even in Ghostbusters 2, his producer basically tells him, people think you're a fraud.
Yeah.
Right.
Holiday Inn, Paramus. I mean, fuck. Yeah. That's the problem with this movie is how can people not fucking remember the Marshmallow Man?
But then again, that's been a problem with both of these Ghostbusters sequels, is that the whole world has gotten collective amnesia to both incidents in New York, pretty big incidents.
That would be like a 9/11 equivalent, a Marshmallow Man walking around downtown New York. I'm talking about not like destruction, I'm talking about like a collective remembrance. Yeah, everyone would remember when they saw the giant Marshmallow Man walking through New York City. It's just, I cannot understand why smart people who write scripts, Gil Keenan and Jason Reitman, two people who write good movies, decided that the best way to approach it is to not approach it.
Yeah.
Or like half-ass approach it, I guess. Because the podcast is the character that ruins everything, essentially.
No, he doesn't. No, he
does. Because it's like, here's these YouTube videos. I know about the cross rip. Like, what the fuck?
Wait, I thought Paul Rudd was showing him the videos, not the other way around.
But then at some point, podcast is like, I remember the cross rip. I know about ghosts. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why are you having a hard time believing any of this?
That is the one problem with these.
We all know those GLP-1 injections work wonders, but that price tag almost gave me a heart attack when my insurance denied coverage. I was staring at a choice between paying my mortgage or paying for weight loss. Talk about a rock and a hard place. Then I found Elevate Health compounded semaglutide at just $58 with payment plans that don't require a second mortgage. Same medication, same results, but a price that real folks can actually afford. Visit joinelevate.com today. That's JOINELEVATE.com. Your wallet will be as happy as your waistline. This medication is not FDA approved.
The audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us, that's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family, and available wherever you get your podcasts.
As two films is the collective amnesia of the city.
I don't get it.
I don't get it, but I'm just way too forgiving.
Do we have to believe that the characters need to be down on their luck because they started down on their luck in the first movie? They need to do that again in the second movie? Like, why can't they just be successful?
They had to find a way to get her to this like in the middle of nowhere I mean, they had to write her some way in that.
I think it's because they just wanted to do something that was Stranger Things adjacent.
Yeah.
That
feels that way.
Okay.
Kind of Goonies. Kind of Goonies.
But that's not a bad thing. I get it.
When the first trailer came out, all of Twitter was like, what is this, Stranger Things meets Ghostbusters?
Yes.
It was all Stranger Things this, Stranger Things that. I'm like,
it is.
Okay. Yeah, but not everything that has to do with kids being supernatural has to be Stranger Things.
But the problem
that's why I said Joe Dante at the beginning.
Right.
You know,
Stranger Things is inspired by other stuff. I mean, when we were talking about Stranger Things, I think we use Stranger Things collectively now to refer to like movies of the 80s is kind of what it feels like. Because what was Stranger Things inspired by? Stranger Things was inspired by fucking Ghostbusters.
I think this movie has more kind of an explorer's vibe.
Yes, that's specifically why I mentioned Joe Dante. Definitely.
Yeah.
The kids are sort of the main attraction here.
It's for me, that's the issue with this movie is you have a good idea. I think this could have been a great idea if it had just been the Stranger Things thing. Actually reboot Ghostbusters or just do, I don't know, make these kids building the Ghostbusters shit in their house. I don't know.
Well, I don't think
she's smart enough. She's building all kinds of other shit. Like, oh my God, come on. The character's smart enough as it is.
I think the fans would not have been happy if there weren't at least a cameo by the original. They have to pass the torch somehow.
Why?
Because that's what fans expect.
Sure. I mean, and that's the thing about this movie that I do applaud is that this is the movie the fans wanted.
It is what the fans wanted.
For good and for bad.
And now in the sequel, if they make a sequel, they can just focus on them.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope.
I think that's the last we're seeing of Bill Murray as Peter.
Well, can we talk about he has been the reason that Ghostbusters 3 has been delayed for 30 years.
Of course.
He is basically because basically he has been holding the franchise hostage, maybe rightfully so, for the past 30 years because he has even said himself, nobody wants to see fat old guys busting ghosts. And I could kind of agree with him on that because, you guys, you had your two films. Now it's in the 2000s, and now maybe you need to just pass the torch. And Bill Murray even said, I won't do another Ghostbusters film unless I die in it.
Right.
And, well, he didn't die in this one, but I think
Harold Ramis stole this thunder. Because wasn't that the conceit? Like he agreed to be in a script where he was going to be the ghost in it?
Like walked out in front of a bus and got hit in like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Something like that, yeah. But, I mean, like Dan Aykroyd would continually send him scripts and he would never read them.
And what's funny is if they had made Ghostbusters 3 in the early 90s, they could have gotten away with a bunch of old fat guys on screen blasting ghosts. Now they can't. How do we know this? Because they have a guy with a silicone Harrison Ford mask on in the new Indiana Jones movie. And that they're still making. And they're going to try to get us to believe that a 75-year-old man can go and do all the fucking shit he could when he was in his 40s. The problem is, before CGI, you couldn't get away with a lot of crazy stuff. There wasn't a lot of crazy stuff expected. So the climax of the original Ghostbusters, they're standing in place. They're not flying around. They're not jumping up and down. They're standing, walking forward. That was the climax. You know why? Because it wasn't an action movie. It was a comedy. And this is an action
with a 100-foot Marshmallow Man.
Right. The 100-foot Marshmallow Man he's a joke. He's a walking punchline.
This is one thing I will give the 2016 film is that I thought the ghost busting scenes in the city were kind of fun and exciting to watch. I will give it that. When they busted ghosts, it was a fun movie to watch. When they weren't busting ghosts, the movie kind of fell flat.
I think it was kind of like, realistically, was there any way that the ghost busting wasn't going to be exciting in 2021? Like, we have all this grand technology, so of course she's going to be hanging out of the car, shooting at it in a gunner's seat. Of course, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But again, like that's not what the original movie is. Like, the original movie has practically nothing to do with the actual ghost busting. It's about dropping jokes about weird parapsychology shit that only Dan Aykroyd realistically should have found funny, and yet the rest of us were on board.
That means you could tell that was Dan Aykroyd.
Make a Ghostbusters action movie is what I'm saying, because that's kind of what this should be anyways. Why isn't this? an action movie, right?
Well, I think it's more of a setup film. And I think...
No, I'm just talking about the Ghostbusters, like, IP in general. Like, it's about people with guns on their backs shooting and capturing ghosts. That is a setup for an action movie 9 times out of 10. In this case, it just happens to be a comedy with 4 actors who you would not take seriously doing any sort of active, I don't know, stuff like they were doing in the 80s in action.
But Chris, I think that's what they knew. Dan Aykroyd knew what they were working with in 1984, and he knew to work with that strength rather than making it an action film. He knew to work with the strengths of the comedic timing of Bill Murray, of himself, of Harold Ramis and Ernie Hudson, and of Annie Potts and Rick Moranis. That comedy, he knew how to work with that
now.
Because
I think they are, though, is the thing.
I hope
like the fact that there is now a company called Ghost Core.
Right. I hope
that they're going to be exploring every type. Like, to me, I think what you said, Trevor, earlier is absolutely right. I think even Ivan Reitman understood that the fans won't accept any sort of furtherances of this franchise without passing the torch, which I think he said, so we need a movie that does that. And I think Jason Reitman had an idea for a movie that was this sort of nostalgic look back that also in the final 20 minutes fulfills the sort of goal of passing the torch so we can start franchising it. But I guarantee you we're going to be getting like comedic and adventurous and scientific and horrific versions of Ghostbusters. I guarantee you they're all in the pipe right now.
But you see what I mean? You guys see what I mean, right? It's just like, I agree, Trevor, that that's why I said, like, this movie needed to happen this way. Like, it's clear to me. Like, it's what I haven't seen a lot of fans saying that this is a movie they didn't like. Trevor, you liked it immensely. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. And it has the best usage of a CGI actor in this kind of bringing a dead person back to life. It's the best version of that we've seen, in my opinion, for one reason, because he never opens his fucking mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Like it feels like a cheat, but at the same time, you're right. Like the CG works wonderfully because he doesn't talk.
Right. The thing about the CGI character is, like, when I first heard the rumor about it, when I was hearing about early screening reactions, I was very fucking nervous. I'm like, oh shit. You have to tread very fucking carefully with this, or else it'll just come off exploitive, or
it's still exploitative.
Yeah, but no, not
Isn't
in a
it? No, I'm not saying bad. I'm just saying at the end of the movie, Harold Ramis shows up to make the Ghostbusters fans cry.
Yeah,
and it's fucking worked.
Of course it
worked
because it's exploitative. But you know what? Movies do that with your emotions because that's the point. But let's just call it what it is. It's exploitative, but unlike Leia in Rogue One, unlike all the other things, I'm okay with it. Like, if this is what is needed to get us over the hump, onto other things, like you said, Father Malone, onto Ghostbusters actually being more horror than an action or action there, whatever, give them what they want with the Harold Ramis CGI. Do it. I don't care.
To be honest with you, I was crying before he showed up because when the Ghostbusters, when the 3 surviving Ghostbusters first show up, I was grinning from ear to ear like a fucking kid. Like, oh my God, there they are. It's finally happening. That was me in the theater. I was like tearing up of happiness because, it was them again. And now that I've seen them, we can move on. We can focus on McKenna Grace and Finn Wolfhard and Logan Kim and the girlfriend who I already forgot the name.
Give me more Ernie Hudson. Just give me more Winston Zeddemore. I don't give a fuck about the rest of those guys.
We all know those GLP-1 injections work wonders, but that price tag almost gave me a heart attack when my insurance denied coverage. I was staring at a choice between paying my mortgage or paying for weight loss. Talk about a rock and a hard place. Then I found Elevate Health compounded semaglutide at just $58 with payment plans that don't require a second mortgage. Same medication, same results, but a price that real folks can actually afford. Visit joinelevate.com today. That's JOINELEVATE.com. Your wallet will be as happy as your waistline. This medication is not FDA approved.
You got to admit, this film did give Winston Zeddemore the fucking credit he deserved.
Winston is the best Ghostbuster because he's the dude. He's just a guy. He's just there to make a fucking paycheck.
Us.
Like that.
He is us.
I mean, Father Bill is probably.
Well, that was the idea behind Winston, right?
Yeah,
it was like the audience's
everyman.
proxy.
Yeah, exactly.
And in this film, he finally gets the credit he deserves.
Wow.
He finally,
I like how Ray is the one who's just like a fucking deadbeat. That's the best part of this movie.
He's running a shop that's
but he
doesn't make any money.
The store. He doesn't even. Pay
No, Winston pays for the store, and Winston goes, "Yeah, he'll make money eventually. He'll turn a profit
I
eventually."
think he's probably right. I think he's about to make some money with the franchise. Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like in the next movie. In the next movie, they're going to mention the Ghostbusters, the original ones. They may not be in it, but
Winston will be in it because he'll be funding it all. Obviously, he'll be putting together these Ghostbuster franchises worldwide.
Okay, one thing. Okay, he's talking. Okay, there's the scene where McKenna Grace calls Dan Aykroyd at the store, right? She mentions that the firehouse has been bought and turned into a Starbucks, correct?
Yes, thank you for mentioning this.
Yeah, and then at the end of the movie.
At the end of the credits, it isn't. It's an old dilapidated, structure. I'm like, it's the same firehouse, but there's nothing in it. There's no Starbucks one or the other.
I didn't understand that. Like, guys, you're the ones who made the joke.
Yeah, make it a different joke.
Yeah, look, and again, like, we're talking about this movie just in general. Again, you make decisions in the script to do certain things a certain way. And when it's like, we're sitting here like, why didn't the character do this? It's like, no, that's the way it was written. So like, yeah, you could have taken that joke out. I frankly can't believe that joke is in the movie and then they have that end credit scene. Like, what the fuck, actually?
Yeah.
Like, there's one setting in Ghostbusters that's iconic. You make a joke, the character who's in New York says, it's a Starbucks now. And then whatever. I mean, fine. Who cares? It's an unearned joke. It's weird.
Yeah, it is kind of an unearned joke. It's like
what
you just killed your joke in, if it even was supposed to be a joke. I mean,
can we talk about Gozer?
Let's talk about Gozer.
Let's talk
the
about
Gozerian Gozer the Destructor.
Choose the form of your destructor.
Can we talk about how Gozer it looks like an alien now? Very alien-esque. It's
just Gozer in its truest form.
Yeah,
but it's not the actress's fault. I think it's the makeup department. I think Gozer, when they had to recast Gozer, they did a great job. Olivia Wilde
is pretty.
Well, she's perfect. She's got the form, the shape of, her body type is Gozer's body type.
Is that the sequel to Shape of Water? The Shape of Gozer?
The Shape of Olivia Wilde.
The Shape of Gozer. But she doesn't do anything. I mean, she
she really doesn't
do anything.
It's an undignified cameo.
An ignominious end to Gozer the Gozerian.
Like
the showdown between Gozer and the Ghostbusters in the first one was an epic battle. This one, they more fight the terror dogs than they do Gozer herself or itself, whatever.
Yeah.
I
will. The terror dogs in the first film, it made sense that they leapt into who they leapt into because everything was sort of located around that the apartment building. Yeah. Here, the terror dogs show up and then go to a Walmart and then go to a nearby farm.
Well, I mean, don't you know that Walmart stocks all Ghostbusters products?
By the way, most deserted Walmart I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially late at night, because we have a Walmart here late at night. It's full of people.
It's filled with people.
And the kind of people that shop at Walmart at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Wait, which would have been interesting to see.
Terror dogs running by meth heads.
What the hell is Paul Rudd doing there anyway? He's not a white trash single mother.
That was a pretty clean looking Walmart for Somerville, Oklahoma, too.
Yeah, don't you think?
He's looking for snacks. By the way, why?
Of all the people in the Walmart, that terror dog decides Paul Rudd's the one I'm going to do.
Well, he threw the ice cream at it.
Why the Stay Puft little things other than like?
Yeah, that wasn't. That wasn't explained.
I understand. Like none of that, but it was all just fan service kind of nonsense.
Didn't it just look like a Walmart advertisement without the bumper?
Yeah, like Gremlins without any of the fun, or
It did feel like they were like advertising Walmart and Baskin Robbins ice cream.
Yeah.
And I think
all right, dude, chill.
The baby Stay Puft Marshmallow Men are there to appeal to the baby Groot fans of the world.
They should never have spoiled the baby Stay Puffs until the end of the movie. They weren't, because they factor into the plot at the end where they're like fucking up the Ecto-1 and all that.
And the proton pack and all that shit.
Right. But why reveal that there are baby Stay Puffs in that scene specifically? It's just like you said, Father Malone. It's a strange scene because like he just goes to Walmart and there's the Gozer dogs,
right? And they
whatever the fuck they're called, terror dogs. Sorry.
Are they harbingers? Like they presage the coming of the terror dog? Like I don't get it.
Me neither.
The practical terror dog in Walmart was a thing of beauty.
Oh my God, yes.
I do. I praise the film for using practical when it comes to the terror dogs because they looked just as good as they did in the 84 film.
Pretty realistic.
The effects are beautiful in this film.
Oh yeah.
They are. It's like we mentioned with the CGI Harold Ramis, there are so many ways that could have gone wrong tonally and effects wise, but for somehow by the grace of God, the
McKenna Grace of God.
Hey.
Yeah, there we go. We got to talk about how great she is in this film.
Yes, we should, because she's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Everything she's in. She seems mature without being precocious, which is so rare in a child performer.
Yeah, she plays kind of the spectrum. Like, I think she's on she kind of gives hints of her being on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she doesn't play it in the goofy Sheldon Cooper Big Bang Theory way.
She doesn't play it in the mid-aughts way.
Yeah. She plays it
very pre-2010s way. I don't think you can get away with writing characters like that anymore.
But they don't make it her entire personality.
No.
Right.
She is a smart girl. She is tough. She's got a great personality. She works for this film because she's very
funny too.
You know what? But she balances funny and seriousness really, really well.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. She's very funny when she's actually telling jokes, and those jokes are good, which is rare in a movie.
Oh, that cigarette hamster joke was hilarious.
Very funny. And so to have that character who is so internal anyway, like that's the way she makes jokes, is to like actually tell a joke. That was a really good character aspect.
Yeah, and I think it was. She was a really well written character. Her brother.
Finn Wolfhard doing the Wolfhard thing.
He was doing the phone. He was kind of but the movie pretty much makes it well known that McKenna Grace is the front and center star of this film.
She should be.
It's a little on the nose to keep casting the damn Stranger Kids cast in your movies that are Stranger Things. It's just find some other children actors, maybe. Right?
Thank God they didn't cast 11 as the dog.
I mean, it's not. Yeah. I mean, like you said, Trevor. Like, everybody on Twitter was saying it was Stranger Things. They made that really easy when they cast one of the 4 kids from the damn show.
I do think they probably should have cast outside of Stranger Things for the film. I mean, they don't give really Finn Wolfhard that much to do other than fix up the car and save the day at the very, very end of the battle. Because him and the love interest Lucky don't really factor into the plot until the very end of the film, because they need her to be the Dana Barrett at the end where she gets turned into a dog and he has to go save her.
Which was kind of out of nowhere on top of everything else. Like,
well, they kind of. I
wasn't expecting that. Good for them. Like I was like, all right, okay.
Well, they kind of had 2 Dana Barretts, with first the mom turning into the gatekeeper, and then the dog possessing the girlfriend at the end.
Wanting to have sex with like a 12-year-old, which was a very strange joke.
Yeah, you were.
That was a little odd.
He says, but when she turns back to normal, they're in the car. They're explaining to her what's happening or what happened, and he tells her, "Yeah, you got kind of humpy." And like, humpy? Like this.
We all know those GLP-1 injections work wonders, but that price tag almost gave me a heart attack when my insurance denied coverage. I was staring at a choice between paying my mortgage or paying for weight loss. Talk about a rock in a hard place. Then I found Elevate Health Compounded Semaglutide at just $58 with payment plans that don't require a second mortgage. Same medication, same results, but a price that real folks can actually afford. Visit joinelevate.com today. That's JOINELEVATE.com. Your wallet will be as happy as your waistline. This medication is not FDA approved.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tudor, and I'm one of the 3 hosts of Almost Major, a film podcast dissecting many major indie studios and the films they release. Every week, myself, Charlie Nash, and Bryden Doyle discuss overlooked, forgotten, or bona fide classic indie films via studio-specific miniseries. We've previously covered numerous films from Artisan Entertainment, Lionsgate Films, and New Line Cinema. Titles including The Blair Witch Project, American Psycho, Dogville, But I'm a Cheerleader, Saw, Requiem for a Dream, and Ringmaster, you know, the Jerry Springer film. Anyways, we have a fun time every week and we hope you will join us. Subscribe to Almost Major wherever you get your podcasts. Now proudly a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Some of the jokes, there were a couple jokes that didn't land. That was one of them.
That was definitely one of them.
Anytime the kids were talking about like sex and shit, I was like, I mean, I get that we're progressive and, you know,
yeah, it's a PG-13 film.
It's a little strange still. Like those kids are 12.
Yeah, they're like fucking 12. Like, if the brother's making sex jokes,
he's 15.
Them talking about it with adults openly is kind of weird.
With adults openly, yes. But I remember being 12 and talking sexually with people. Like, we all did. Like,
right.
You know.
Our pals, sure. But openly with adults is not like
no, that's weird.
Yeah. It's just a tonal thing. Like, there's some tonally weird stuff in this movie that, again, the movie is really fun and upbeat until you get to the finale, which becomes, like, not somber, but, yeah, kind of. Maudlin, yeah.
Little maudlin.
And it's, like you said, it feels like a different movie again. But if this is what we needed to get over this...
Yeah, cool. Can I point out another thing that I really disliked about the movie?
Can we start talking about shit we liked about the film?
We just talked about McKenna Grace.
No, I did. McKenna Grace is phenomenal. The entire cast is really good. I love Carrie Coon, and she's really good here.
I'm seeing Paul Rudd and stuff too.
Paul Rudd's Paul Rudd. Like I would like want to praise him more, but like he's just being Paul Rudd again. So
but here's the thing: is Paul Rudd being Paul Rudd is better than Will Ferrell being Will Ferrell. Or True. Vince Vaughn being Vince Vaughn.
Yes, 100%.
I can get down with Paul Rudd being Paul Rudd because I find Paul Rudd to be a genuinely charming and attractive man.
Yeah.
Okay,
my point is the mine shaft is sitting there for, we're led to believe, 70 years at least. That's when Ivo Shandor died, right? That's when they put him in that glass hermetically sealed coffin. Yeah. And on top of that mountain, there is an elevator that no children in the area have gone into this cavern in 70 years. A fucking elevator with seats, benches that the kids go hang out there anyway. And none of them went, well, in a drunken haze in 70 years. Let's go down into this cavern and see what's down there. I don't know. Sorry.
You're ruining it for me, man.
It just goes back to this whole idea of that was a script choice. You wrote the story that way. Like you could have.
For me, that's a small criticism for me.
Yeah, but it cuts back to this idea of the movie not really taking what made the first Ghostbusters with the ghosts and treating it logically. Like the reason the first one works is because nobody other than Ivo Shandor and his fellows knew about that building being the way it is, and they had to discover it. Like you said, Father Malone, people would have gone in there, people would have seen it. Like you could drive a car in there. I mean, like, I don't know. It's a weird choice.
Here's one thing that I was kind of wondering about is the fact that, Egon has a daughter, right? Carrie Coon is Egon's daughter. And she is, in her 30s?
Yes.
Mid-30s, maybe?
Sure.
So... Okay, let's go back.
Immediately after the events of Ghostbusters 2, he would have to marry.
He would have had to have immediately impregnated a woman.
Yeah.
And even then, his daughter would have had to have gotten pregnant at like 15 years old.
Right. Yeah. See, that's another problem with this movie. It should have taken place in another 10 years or 15 years from now when like a lot of these plot problems would have been alleviated, where it's like at that point, maybe 40, 50 years from the time of New York, people may have forgotten about it. And there hasn't been a ghost sighting in that many years, you know, like, and like what you're saying, like that, the timeline would make a little more sense. So,
and the crazy thing is, we keep saying the giant marshmallow man. It would really be people remembering the Statue of Liberty walking into New York City.
Much more than the Marshmallow Man.
The world would know about that.
That would be what I would remember.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, okay, the Statue of Liberty uprooted itself with the 4 Ghostbusters inside and took a walk. Like, fuck you, it did. Like, oh, you're telling me you don't remember that? Like,
remember?
what?
And then it smashed open the roof of that museum.
Right. Like, no, God, like that. Ugh.
It was like Godzilla, man.
Yeah. I wonder how
those guys' names everyone would know.
Right.
Stans, Spengler, Venkman.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Zeddemore.
Zeddemore. They didn't, at any point in the movie, make it clear that McKenna Grace's character, Phoebe Spengler, didn't know her last name.
She didn't. She knew her last name. She just didn't know the history.
But like anytime anyone would come up to her and she'd be like, "My name is Phoebe Spengler," they should be like, "Egon Spengler's granddaughter?" Like,
yeah,
it's
Spengler. Oh, like the Ghostbuster. Everyone would say it all the time. You know what? Mike Wallace. Yeah, Mike Wallace as an entity is like not known now, but like he certainly was when I was growing up. And literally everyone I met and I said, "My name is Mike Wallace," they would say, "Oh, 60 Minutes, 60 Minutes." No, if your last name was like Schwarzenegger,
right,
or you know, like Armstrong, like Neil Armstrong, like the astronaut.
Yeah.
Oh God, I've had people say, "Oh, like Bryant Gumbel."
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I don't understand how you could make that plot hole, because it is a plot hole. Like, and I hate pointing plot holes out, but like, it's such a plot hole that it makes me wonder why they did it, because it kind of overshadows the movie in a way.
They don't want you to think about it, because then that really smart, fun character becomes kind of dumb.
Yeah. And it's not a hole that they were in that they couldn't have written themselves out of. They could have written themselves out of it pretty easily. They could have used it to their advantage. Really. They could have, you know, "Oh, you're Egon Spengler's granddaughter, let me help you," or something else. Not like, "Oh, I don't know who my grandfather was when I looked just like him." Like,
here's an easy fix. The daughter doesn't want to be associated with her father because he ran out her. Just have her fake her last name.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything.
And not tell the daughter.
Well, and so she's his daughter, but she married another guy. Couldn't she just have the husband's last name as the kid's name?
Right.
They never really mention the husband at all, or the ex.
No, they say that like he left, or like he checked. He was good with the older son, and then he checked out after the daughter.
Which was another drop in the bucket of, like you said, Trevor's her on the spectrum. It's like he didn't know how to handle. It's like, okay, that makes sense. Good. I mean, that's a good plot beat. But yeah, it's just, that is the biggest issue that I have with this movie, is just there's some weird things in the plot that like really just get in the way of me fully being able to enjoy this movie. Because in the next movie, here's the question: how do they do this in the next movie? In the next movie, is everybody in New York know who the fucking Ghostbusters are? So it's just assholes in Somerville, Oklahoma, who are idiots.
Well, the next movie, it's going to be the son of Vigo.
But my question still stands. Like, in New York, do people know who the Ghostbusters are, or is it just quote Middle America? Like,
I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out.
Right.
Yeah. Where's Oscar?
Right.
You mean Dana's son?
Yeah, where's Oscar these days? The almost possessed by Vigo, the Carpathian. Like,
yeah, that was going to be one of the plots of one of the sequels. That was going to be like him joining.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
that's the real question.
And why am I dripping with goo?
That's all I want to know. I mean,
he'll be back.
He was the best. He was such a good part of Ghostbusters too. I loved him in that movie.
I was really hoping that they were going to get that Rick Moranis cameo,
but I know,
and it was going to be him and Dana Barrett married at the end of the movie. Because like, give that to us as the fans, because that makes
him and
sense.
Dana.
Yeah, why not?
Are you sure you don't mean him and Janine?
No, her and Peter were never good for one another. Well, Janine is clearly. I mean, Janine and Winston always made sense, and now you know.
Are you insane?
I don't know. Throw the audience for a loop, man.
Okay, well, have Janine and Winston married then. I mean,
I don't know. She even says, "My name is Janine Melnitz." She's not married.
No.
Winston Zeddemore is also not married, clearly.
We don't know that.
That's fair.
He did mention he had kids.
That's fair. I just like the idea of him and Janine Melnitz together. Just like, I don't know. I like the idea.
Well, how about a future movie with Janine and Rick Moranis and Winston and the vibrant members of the didn't get their due in the original couple of movies? Ghostbusters.
So like Oscar and Janos and
yeah, man,
and the real Ghostbusters
and Dean Yeager.
Hey, Dean Yeager.
William Atherton's still alive? Get him in there.
Oh, of course he is.
Throw him in the mix.
And unfortunately, he can't live it down. Everybody, he gets people come up to him all the time, and like I think they call him Dickless or something.
Oh my God, he should be in the next one and be like redeem himself, make him a good guy.
But he has kind of Bobby Brown in while we're at it.
In the public eye.
Bobby Brown.
Yeah, put Bobby Brown, put fucking Ray Parker Jr. in it.
In the public eye, his character has been like proven to be right in a lot of articles.
Who, the EPA
William
guy?
Atherton?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He's that acerbic a human?
Well, I mean, his character was, people were saying, well, his character did have a point. I'm like,
that's true.
Nuclear
that's
reactors.
True. And what's going on with the containment system in the post-credit scene?
Father Malone, you turd. You fucking turd. I mean, I will agree. I fucking rolled my eyes at the end.
What's going on, Chris?
I didn't roll my eye.
What's coming out of that containment unit? What could it be?
Why is that containment unit still there?
Yeah, what?
That was a Starbucks. They didn't keep it in the basement of Starbucks, did they?
You want it with foam? Oops.
Yeah, oopsie.
I've always wondered how much can that containment unit hold?
Hold on. I can't. Hold on. Can you believe the after credit scene of this movie teasing the next movie negates a fucking plot point they made in their own movie? That is insane. Come on, Trevor. That is actually fucking nuts. It'd be like them killing Han Solo in Force Awakens. He just shows up in the end credit scene, just like, "Hey, everybody, I'm back."
Well, he fucking showed up
2 movies later.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
And I rolled my eyes at that one, by the way.
Good God.
I think I said out loud in the theater. Oh my fucking God.
Guys, he got another $500,000 for that. Come on. It's the easiest one day on set he's ever seen. Come on.
I feel bad for Harrison Ford.
Wait, why?
Why?
Don't feel bad for him.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, he don't feel bad for you. He don't feel bad for me.
He don't even consider you.
Yeah, he don't consider any of us.
Yes, he does. Harrison Ford loves me.
Harrison Ford hates Star Wars.
He does. He really fucking does. But he still collects that damn paycheck in the Rise of Skywalker, didn't he?
And that's the problem with Bill Murray. You hate Ghostbusters, but dude, come on.
Don't do it.
What? No.
Their post-credit scene with him and Dana.
Oh, it was great.
I love that scene.
It's fucking fantastic. Again, made me wish that we had gotten a movie with maybe Egon shows up at the end of, and then we got another movie with some other sort of crisis, but dealing with like the original characters sort of like getting back together in some way or something. Like it I don't know.
Okay, so
I'm saying the same thing over and over again.
No, but let's think about that for a second though, because you bring up something interesting. Would the movie have worked better if the Ghostbusters had already shown up pre the climax and the climax had just been Egon showing up at the end?
Yes.
Yeah.
At the halfway point, if they should have shown up. If they were going in that direction where they're going to play a part in the fucking finale.
Okay,
when they showed up in the finale, I was just like, get the fuck out of here with this unearned nonsense.
They're here because of one phone call that she made 45 minutes earlier in the movie.
And then like in one day, then Ray gathered the other Ghostbusters and get on your fucking packs, boys. We're on our way to fucking Oklahoma.
Okay. I still love this movie. Okay.
That's fine.
I know we're talking.
It's a good movie. It's just has some problems.
I just want to know how the hell Ray knew where she lived and showed up at the exact right time.
I mean, to be fair. Well, see, that's the problem. That's the problem with any of these kinds of cameos in movies, Trevor, is why weren't they there 10 minutes earlier? Fucking Christ. Oh, hold on. We're just going to let Gozer get all of her power back, fucking walk in with her bullshit, and then we're just going to wait for everybody to be almost dead, and then turn them on, boys. Like, Cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad the characters didn't just fucking die. Like, I'm glad that all the characters didn't get killed by Gozer before you assholes decided to show up. That's the problem with these kinds of cameos.
I would have liked to see where Ray. I would have liked to have seen where Ray like gets in touch with the other two and talks to them about this, and then they show up.
Why not show that?
I get it. Well, have them show up, just not in their costumes until the end. Then it still have with the effect.
Yeah,
it would still have the.
Bring them in like they were brought into by Dana to the museum to investigate what was going on. Why not just bring them in as characters, or bring in fucking Dan Aykroyd? You think he wouldn't have gone and been on set with them for 2 or 3 weeks doing, we called up Ray and here he is helping. Like, why not do that? I don't understand. I go back to what I said at the beginning of this podcast. I don't understand the reverence for Ghostbusters when it wasn't treated reverently by the people who made it. I get it now as fans. That's your interpretation of it. You love it, and it's near and dear to you. But like we just said about Harrison Ford, Bill Murray clearly doesn't give a fuck about Ghostbusters.
He just wants to do the films he wants to do.
Exactly. And so that's the way he treats it, but the fans treat it as this, oh my God, the Crunch Bar. Oh my God, the Twinkie. Oh my God, who you gonna call? Like, I get it. I get it. Hold on. I get the reverence for it. I'm not one of those people that holds it as reverently because that's just not the thing that I care about movie wise. But if that's what the fans want, and that's the way a lot of the fans like this, and that's the way the people who make it think it should be, great. And it's clearly resonated. But there's going to be a portion of the audience who sees a guy taking a Crunch Bar out of the thing and go, what the fuck is that in reference to?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not like a Ghostbusters fan like I am, some of the references will just go over your head and you'll wonder, why are they focusing on that Twinkie in there so long?
Right.
Why are they holding on the Twinkie or the Crunch Bar? What the hell is the Crunch Bar? I do get that.
I think I know who's been holding Ghostbusters hostage for the last 30 years, and it's not Bill Murray. It's Ghostbusters fans.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but if your whole thing was, I need to see the original Ghostbusters on screen together, and we never got it, and that's why we've never seen any Ghostbusters anything else, that fucking sucks too.
Well, they've been talking about passing the torch for decades now.
But there
like originally they were going to have like Chris Farley and Chris Rock like be like two of the new Ghostbusters.
So what if Bill Murray had died? They would never have made this movie again, or what?
Oh, they would have.
But that's the question here. So if say Bill Murray lives for another 20 years and everybody else is dead, then it was guys, we never made a third Ghostbusters movie because of me, and I can't write that paycheck of $1 million to myself because I hate Ghostbusters so much. That's that's the thing. Like, who's holding the Ghostbusters franchise hostage?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm not trying to be a dick here. I'm just trying to point out the fact that this movie had to be this way for a lot of people, clearly. It wasn't just Ghostbusters.
This movie had to be everything to everyone, and it was going to disappoint some people.
Yeah, I think it satisfied a lot more people than the last movie did.
Yeah, because it's just a better movie overall. But
right.
In the sort of pantheon of the Ghostbusters movies, like, I think this was like 70% a good, interesting new take on the movies, and then the grafted on conclusion of Ghostbusters at the end.
This really is like this movie has the third Ghostbusters, the nugget of that original third Ghostbusters idea. It has it here at the end of the movie. It's the Ivo Shandor Gozer stuff.
I still want to see the Ghostbusters movie where the Ghostbusters go to hell.
Yeah.
And
the hellacious version of New York where they keep flipping between ours and theirs.
Where they fight the main bad guy is called Louis Cypher.
Yeah.
And he's like a Donald Trump-like character.
Yeah.
That's an idea that Dan Aykroyd had been. That was an idea that Dan Aykroyd had been like brewing in his head for years, and it never got made. And
I'll watch anything Ghostbusters, really. Like, let's be honest here. Like, would we really? I mean, we've all seen the 2016 movie. Fuck. Like, even as bad as it is, we all still watched it. I'll watch anything Ghostbusters because at this point now I've seen the movie that everybody wanted to get made. So, what's next?
Well, I mean.
Right?
Get ready for a lot, I imagine.
I hope so.
What they need to do, I'm just afraid the fans will revolt. I want the fans to be okay if the original Ghostbusters aren't in the sequel.
Yeah, well, they're gonna be.
But that's what that's what they're gonna do though. They've looked at the sort of Marvel universe now, and they're just gonna start pulling characters from each of these movies and dropping them in, and that'll be enough for people.
Like, but
there's no way that Dan Aykroyd isn't going to be in the next Ghostbusters movie.
But I do want the sequel to be its own thing and not have to rely on Egon or Ray or Peter or Winston.
But I think also, like you already mentioned, Trevor, it's trying to be a lot of things. It has to be a balancing act because there are still going to be people who watch these for this like fucking nostalgia kick. Like inject that shit into my veins, man. Because like nostalgia's a drug. I mean, it is. It gives people a dopamine high when they see something that they remember that they loved the first time. That's why.
Yeah, but to me, the film was more than just a nostalgia trip. It was
sure.
There are genuinely really great things about this film.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's just I do believe that they could make a sequel that'll blow this away. I do believe that can be possible.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to give Finn Wolfhard more to do.
Honestly, just give us McKenna Grace. I don't give a shit about anything else.
Well, they've already set up the 4 Ghostbusters are going to be McKenna Grace, Logan Kim, Finn Wolfhard, and Lucky.
Well, I guarantee you, whatever the next Ghostbusters movie is, it isn't going to be this cast.
Oh, you don't think so?
Oh, no, not at all. The thing that you were mentioning earlier, like the thing that they kept saying over and over again, like every 5 or so years, they would say whatever the latest sort of hot comedians were, like they're going to be in the new Ghostbusters movie. Like that's what's going to happen now. Now we're going to get a Ghostbusters, like an urban Ghostbusters with them on the street. And then whatever the next movie is, then we'll probably get like McKenna Grace back. And that's probably the idea here.
Does that mean we're going to get a Ghostbusters with Pete Davidson?
A Ghostbusters what?
With Pete Davidson?
Probably.
Right. Hey, guys. Yeah, zap him first.
Yeah.
Hit him with the proton.
If he could be a ghost. He'd be a good, like, ghostly villain, I think.
He is pretty fucking pale.
Just recast him. Just, hey, Michael Keaton doesn't want to do Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And I like Pete Davidson. Don't get me wrong. I like Pete Davidson. But he is getting very oversaturated media-wise.
Yeah, man.
I agree, Father Malone. I don't think there's a need for this cast anymore for Ghost.
I have a problem with how they incorporated Who You Gonna Call.
It was my God.
They wasted a perfectly good Bokeem Woodbine
on a joke. Yeah.
On a like I love Bokeem Woodbine. He's a great actor.
I do too.
They just had him for like a couple scenes where he plays the sheriff and he doesn't factor into the plot at all at all.
Why not have
we never see him again?
Ray Parker Jr. Why not just cast Ray Parker Jr. as the sheriff?
Because that would have been absurd.
Yes, I agree with Trevor. Don't do that. Yeah, I mean, in a film that's already sort of walking a tightrope of. No, get out of here.
He's giving one scene's worth of dialogue. Wouldn't it have been a true nostalgia bomb wouldn't it have been a true nostalgia bomb to have Ray Parker Jr. being the one in the Ghostbusters movie to go, who you gonna call? The guy who sings the goddamn song. Come on, guys.
You might as well have just said Bobby Brown shows up as the sheriff and just tells him, you know what? You're on your own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Equally acceptable. Equally acceptable.
I'm not saying it's acceptable. I'm just saying if you're trying to give everybody some nostalgia bombs, like.
Oh, come on. You're just being absurd now.
Yeah.
Don't devil's advocate us.
I'm not devil's advocating anything.
If you're gonna devil's advocate us, at least be Al Pacino.
All I'm saying is, if you're gonna waste Bokeem Woodbine anyways, why not just give it to someone who's not an actor?
I don't know. Maybe they've got plans for the Bokeem Woodbine in the future franchises.
He turns out to be sheriff. Yeah, he turns out to be the son of the descendant of fucking the Scolari brothers.
Oh my God. God, yeah. When are we gonna see them back next? Jeez Louise.
Hopefully soon.
Right.
I love me some Scolari brothers.
Where's Harris Yulin at? They gonna bring him back?
I hope so.
Right.
Hell yeah. Bring back Harris Yulin.
Those Scolari brothers tried him for murder. Gave him the chair. God, whatever.
Don't tease me, man. Fucking Harris Yulin is awesome.
Hey, Father Malone.
Yes.
Would you skip or would you suggest to a non-Ghostbusters fan to check out Ghostbusters Afterlife?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that sort of 7/10 of a movie that we keep talking about, I think it's really good and interesting and fun. And I like those characters and I had fun spending time with them. McKenna Grace is great. And I think it's a mostly worthwhile film. I think it stumbles at the finish line with the sort of crafted on world building, which I know is the purpose of the whole movie for most people. But I think it could probably still work, maybe if you're not into Ghostbusters at all.
What about you, Trevor?
Yeah, I think, it definitely, some of the references may be confusing to some non-Ghostbusters fans. I know we've criticized the film a lot in this podcast, but I still want it known that I still really love this movie. I was able to kind of let some, I kind of let it pass to still not let it stop me from enjoying the film, even though there were some issues I had with it. One issue we didn't really talk about is Rob Simonson's score, that I wish he would have tried to make his own thing rather than keep referring to Elmer Bernstein's score.
I honestly didn't even realize someone else did the score. I thought it was just an Elmer Bernstein score that they
I did too. But somebody had to adapt it. I mean, to make it fit.
I didn't want him to completely rely on the Elmer Bernstein score. I kind of wanted him to do more of his own thing.
Well,
it felt a little bit. It felt a little crutchy. I mean, it would be nice to reference the thing, but it was like fucking flat out throughout the whole movie.
Yeah,
like more than in the original movie. I think they
felt like I was playing the
music.
Ghostbusters pinball machine, like just the music just sitting on in the background.
Well, have maybe one or two scenes with the Ghostbusters scene from the original, but don't pepper it throughout the film.
Is it that iconic that it needs to be in the entire movie?
Yes, clearly.
I mean, again, that's the question of who is it iconic to, right? As a Ghostbusters fan, Trevor, you would say yeah, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
What about for non-Ghostbusters fans?
Again, I say check it out. There are good things in the film that I think even if you're a non-Ghostbusters fan, you'll find something to like about them. Even if you're a casual Ghostbusters fan too.
Well, I would assume a casual Ghostbusters fan is just people who watch movies.
Yeah, there you go.
So I think for me, I would say suggest it. And like you guys mentioned, Father Malone, like you mentioned as well, with the 7/10 of a movie, I think most of the time when you do something like this, you lose the non-fan base audience. You lose the people that are casual fans. I think Ghostbusters is so well known. Bill Murray, at least Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, I think are well known enough. Maybe not for the younger kids, but the younger kids' parents, because this movie also is kind of a kid's movie in a little bit of a way.
The parents will just have to tell the kids, hey, that's the guy who played Garfield.
Yikes. That's a guy from Zombieland playing himself. I think this would work for a casual audience, but again, you've made some decisions in this movie that I just can't wrap my head around. But for a movie that's pure nostalgia in a lot of ways, like you said, Father Malone, it's the 7/10 are for the 3/10 of the movie. I mean, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
They're working to that. They're working to the punchline of the joke, the entire movie of here's Gozer and there's the three Ghostbusters once again going, hey, Gozer.
Can I say one thing that I did like in the movie? I think the ending could have been a little more exciting, but I think the solution of burying those traps, and he was the dirt farmer, and they had been setting it up from the opening scene where it didn't work for whatever reason it initially had not worked. I liked that a lot.
Yeah. I like, that's the thing, Trevor, like you said, there are the issues with the movie center around the climax. I actually don't mind the climax. I like the setup. Gozer doesn't do anything, but Gozer didn't really do much in the other movie either. Gozer.
No, all they did was summon the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Right.
And shoot lasers out of her hands. That was basically all she did.
So I liked the conclusion of the movie. It's just the addition of the Ghostbusters, which is a weird thing to say, was the issue.
Yeah, the thing is, to me, the movie should have been that because the 7/10 was sort of leaning in that direction. It should have been this more intimate movie about the Spengler family. Mm-hmm. Like I said, maybe halfway through, she makes the phone call to Ray, and that's the other introduction we get to the other Ghostbusters. But having them shoehorned in at the end feels like a cheat, because it should be about this family reuniting and finding out that he loved them and didn't abandon them willingly. He was doing it to save the world, and now they've done that for him. That was a great movie, but then here are the Ghostbusters for no fucking reason. And Gozer. I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, I agree. That story is Spielbergian. That's why it's so Spielberg. It's because it's a movie about a family that just happens to be a goddamn Ghostbusters movie. And one of the characters in that family is a character from Ghostbusters. That's a phenomenal idea. Great idea to break down the Ghostbusters mythos.
You know what?
And focus on
if they had not made the 2016 movie where they're like, we're going to ignore that shit altogether, they could have made this movie without any of the Ghostbusters in it. I guess they could have probably made it with Harold Ramis as well. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like that. Like there was so much pressure because of the failure of that movie that they had to make it fan servicey here at the end. But it's, I think, personally to the detriment of the movie, because the sort of more intimate story to me is the more interesting part of the movie.
Well, I think another way that Ghostbusters 2016 kind of failed people is that they incorporated the original cast, just not as the original cast, and except for Ernie Hudson in pretty shitty ways. Bill Murray playing the skeptic, hipster guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd playing a fucking taxi driver, Annie Potts being a hotel manager, and Sigourney Weaver basically playing the same character as Holtzman. Yeah. Like, really? That's what you're going to use this cast for? Fuck you.
I like Sigourney Weaver as Holtzman's mother, though. That was good.
Was that her mom or her teacher?
No. Either way, I don't care. I loved it. Well, obviously, she based her entire life on this woman. So
yeah.
And you guys think that if they had the Ghostbusters in the 2016 movie, they wouldn't have had them here?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
If they had made it, because then they could have dealt with all the bullshit we're talking about, like the world and how it had reacted to them, and made a movie where like somebody's like, hey, nobody's busting ghosts anymore. Let's do it. And then have them incorporated into that plot. That could have been cool. But they wanted to like start from ground zero, which was the mistake of that film.
Wasn't there a rumor about like there being a multiverse of Ghostbusters?
Yes.
Where the 2016 one could show up in the universe of the 1984 version.
This is 100% going to happen.
It has already happened in the comic book.
Yeah, well, everything appears in comic books.
Well,
you can get away with it. You don't have to have Bill Murray agree to be in it.
Michael, everything is fucking multiverse now. Hollywood is obsessed with multiverse.
IDW has a 1984 Ghostbusters comic, a recent Ghostbusters comic, and a 2016 Ghostbusters comic, and they have all interacted with each other.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, no one is more excited of the scientific concept of a multiverse than studios that own lots of properties that they can now fucking mash together and just go like, whoa, world opened up between these two properties.
Well, if it's 100% going to happen, I worry that the two ways of comedy that they have are going to clash and completely jumble up the film. He's going to try to do the same type of comedy in the 2016 one. The 1984 is going to do the same type of comedy in the 1984 one, and they're just going to clash to be an uneven mess.
Well, what I think is going to happen is those ladies will be back, but Mr. Paul Feig.
I was going to say, Paul Feig is not coming back.
Okay. Yeah, I think Paul Feig is persona non grata at the Sony lot.
That's what Dan Aykroyd said. But again,
I saw that interview too.
I don't know how much I believe Dan Aykroyd.
Are you talking about where he says like,
won't be back on the Sony lot anytime soon?
Yeah, because he was talking about like they wanted him to add stuff and he wouldn't add it or something like that, and he will not be back on
a $60 million dance scene. Let's cut that out of the movie.
He turned on Paul Feig pretty fucking quickly. Let's just.
That's because Paul Feig is not paying his Ghostbusters way anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
if that had been a huge success, then he would have had nothing but nice things to say.
Right. Dan Aykroyd is a very what's the word?
Opportunistic?
Yeah. He knows where to hitch his wagon, and he's not wrong. I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't hitch my wagon to Paul Feig anymore if that movie's going nowhere with the one property that I'm known for, other than Blues Brothers. Like,
he needs to make a Vulcanvania television series on Netflix.
Oh God,
Jesus Christ!
I said it. Somebody make it happen.
But no one can replace John Candy.
You're the only one.
No one can replace John Candy.
I bet if you approached Dan Aykroyd and said, "Hey Dan, I'd love to work with you on a Vulcanvania TV show," he'd probably do it with you, Father Malone.
I hope he would. I would dig the fuck out of that shit. I'll approach him about a podcast about it.
Yeah. You know what, though? Anything that would come of that show would be just nothing but trouble.
Zing.
On that note,
but like I said, you can't replace John Candy in that film.
No,
John Candy.
Nor we try, but Vulcanvania is a large town. We don't know. There are many stories to be told.
Vulcanvania multiverse.
Yeah, you could do the.
Oh, here we go, baby.
You could do the backstory of Bobo and whatever the other one's name was.
Vulcanvania.
100%. They'll get a whole series. Those two.
Yeah, get the Ghostbusters. Go to Vulcanvania.
Why not?
I mean, there's tons of dead people there, tons of ghosts. It's probably really haunted.
I do admit the song Bone Stripper is pretty cool.
and one of those ghosts, Jake Blues. Multiverse, baby.
Well, isn't that what they said, that the Slimer would end? It was just the ghost of John Belushi.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you see that? What's his name? Steve Taylor, I think. He was the sculptor, and he said he showed it to Aykroyd, and Aykroyd said, "No, you have to make it look like Belushi." And he said, "Oh, okay." And then he didn't change it at all, and brought it in like a week later. He's like, "Oh, yeah, you did it. It looks just like John."
Ladies and gentlemen, aliens are real.
Yeah.
On that note, Father Malone, where could people find you when you're not here talking, Ghostbusters?
If you're searching for me, you do well to go to fathermalone.com. That's a link tree where you can find access to my podcast, Dark Destinations. That's a half-hour radio drama that I write and produce. You can also hear me over on Dreams for Sale, the Twilight Zone 85 podcast that Chris and I do with Mr. Mike White from the projection booth.
What about you, Trevor? Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me occasionally on the Kulturecast with our dear friend here, which we're doing right now.
I prefer Dear Leader, thank you.
I'm sorry, my dear leader, Chris Stachiw.
I prefer Dear Leader if you're going to go that direction.
And like Chris mentioned at the beginning, you can find me on the On Seagal podcast. I'm doing I sometimes show up on the projection booth with our friend Mike White. I'm on a podcast, the New Wave podcast, with AJ Black. Occasionally, I'm doing.
Tell us more about that one.
That is a podcast that talks about the films of like the 60s and 70s, New Wave, like the early films of Scorsese.
Okay.
Like soon I'm going to be doing an episode with him on 5 Easy Pieces, the Bob Rafelson film.
So you're doing? Are you doing New Wave like sort of like in reference to the French New Wave, where this is the descendants of that, or are you doing the French New Wave at all? I'm just curious.
I don't. We're doing.
I hate the French New Wave, but I love what it spawned.
Like the first episode I did with him, we talked about Who's That Knocking at My Door, Martin Scorsese's first film. I think we're going to be talking about around that timeline of films.
So like American New Wave, then.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So like Bogdanovich.
Yes.
Like the actual golden age.
Another episode I'll be doing with him is a woman, the John Cassavetes film, Woman. What was it called?
Woman on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown.
That's the one. Yeah, Woman on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. I thought that's what it was called, but for some reason I didn't. Okay, yeah, but
Jenna Rollins.
The great Jenna Rollins.
Yeah, man.
You can also find me on Twitter at Bad Vertigo. So.
And as for your dear leader, as I guess we'll just put that now. I guess Kim Jong-un's. I'm taking that away from him.
We all have to get the same haircuts as you do.
Please don't. Get the same haircut as Father Malone. He loves it, especially when you show up to his place with green hair.
Definitely show up with green hair around me. What a lark.
It wasn't a lark. My hair, I have not let my hair go back to normal since then, my friend.
Good for you. No, I'm glad I liberated you from the hair enslavement that we're all subjugated by.
Yeah. But as for me, you can find me at cstachiw.com, cstachiw.com. That is where you can find me and all the things I work on. Father Malone mentioned some. Trevor mentioned some. I'll mention Scary Stories We Tell. That's a show that I do once a week where we talk about spooky, weird stuff with a variety of people. All kinds of things.
Like me.
Like Father Malone talking about Nostradamus and other prognosticators.
Flostradamus, my friend.
Trevor, Father Malone, thank you for joining me. This was kind of out of the blue, but, I know how much Trevor loves Ghostbusters, and I figure why not do a Ghostbusters episode? It's worth talking about.
It is. It is very much worth talking about.
Yeah. And, catch you on the next episode. Talk about it for a fucking...